from the Schmoes Know Network Studios in Los Angeles, California, it's time for Meet the Movie Press. And now, here's your host, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com, Mark Reilly, and from The Wrap, Jeff Sneider.
Good morning, Schmoville!
Hello, and that is the theme to Meet the Movie Press, and let's just get right to it. Jeff, how are you, by the way?
You know what? I'm good.
Good.
I'm excited because we got a...
I mean, look who's here.
Man in the house.
Look who's here. Everybody knows I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief Schmoes Know. Jeff Sneider from The Wrap, give a wave, and from Latino Review, the Scoop Master. I mean, he's just sitting here. We're so excited. We were waiting for JT to flip the damn button. We wanted to get going because we have El Mayimbe here in studio.
What's good, Schmoville?
Schmoville, you guys know. Yeah, you get the canned
Listen to
applause.
that deep voice.
I know. He just comes right in.
I want you to like do all the audio books that I listen to.
That's my other job. From 4 to 8.
That's from 4 to 8. But you guys, Schmoville, you know El Mayimbe. He has been on the show many times, the main show, calling in, dropping scoops. And he's going to do just that today.
Absolutely.
You got some big ones, man.
Dropping it like they're hot.
Big scoops.
So guys out there, if you're listening and and you're afraid of spoilers, I'm going to issue a spoiler alert if you want to remain pure, and not know what's going to happen and, all that kind of good stuff. But we're going to drop it because, El Mayimbe, when you put up on Twitter that you got a scoop, it's an event.
Right. Yes.
People like it's like the equivalent of lining up at a Krispy Kreme. They're like, okay, here we go. I'm waiting. And I mean, I get Christian Harloff, head schmo, going, did you see that tweet? Just get an alert going and get ready to post. And I'm like, okay, here we go. That's how big it is.
Oh, thank you. I like to put the entertainment in entertainment journalism sometimes.
Absolutely, you do, man. And so we'll get to those scoops in a minute. We want to make the audience wait a bit.
Ease into it.
We're going to ease into it.
Foreplay.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's a good way to look at it. So the foreplay is how is everybody's week? Jeff, you dropped a few exclusives this week.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Yeah, yesterday was a good day.
Yeah.
You didn't have to use your AK.
It's so funny. I listened to that song on the way up here. That's how I started my day, with a little Ice Cube, because I'm old school like that. We reported yesterday that Jennifer Jason Leigh is going to play Daisy Domergue in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think she's like sort of I think she's very underappreciated as an actress.
Yeah.
She's obviously been consistently fantastic throughout her career, but she hasn't had that like one big part to shine in, at least lately.
Right.
And I think that this could be it.
Yeah, with a Tarantino movie, heck yeah. She's gonna it's like, I almost think of like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. You don't really, Jennifer Jason Leigh, of course, but then when she comes in a Tarantino movie, that might change her career and to the next level.
I was just fascinated by the other actresses that we heard, were chasing it. I mean, Demi Moore, like that would have been kind of interesting to see if Quentin could work his John Travolta magic on Demi Moore, who could really use it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think Jennifer Jason Leigh's a great choice. I never argue with Quentin. He
knows how to cast
the hell out of movies.
Yeah.
Definitely next level.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big scoop. What do we got going on here? Does everybody hear that? What's that? I have no idea if it's a phone.
Oh, it was.
El Mayimbe, he's getting a call.
I'm sorry about that.
That's another scoop. That's a Marvel source calling, isn't it? Yeah.
No, they're all in.
He's got to take this. Let's play like the little intermission music.
I know. I was just like, are we doing a commercial? It's like, everybody buy Ben Gay. What? I don't know what that was.
It's okay.
But that's a really great scoop, and I can't wait for Hateful Eight, and great casting there, and we had a pretty good week at schmoesknow.com as well.
I saw that one of your old scoops got confirmed.
Yeah, a little scoop that we dropped a while ago, and please help me as I butcher her name, Léa Seydoux. Right? She was in Blue is the Warmest Color.
I'll take it. I think that's an acceptable pronunciation.
Thank
if this
you.
was like
Thank
Jeopardy.
You. Well, we had it on good authority that she was going to be a Bond girl, and this Baz Bim. I'm not even
Baz Bamming Boy.
Yeah, what he said. Just confirmed that she's been cast in Bond 24. So
he gets all that good Bond stuff from overseas. He's based out of London.
Yeah,
he writes for the Daily Mail.
So he didn't source us, but that's okay. Baz, I don't care. We dropped it like 3 months ago, so he just probably didn't know.
You know what? What do they not have schmoesknow.com in London?
Is it not on your RSS feed? You're not getting our updates? You're not following us on Twitter?
Baz, next time I see you, which is maybe at the Toronto International Film Festival, I'm going to bring this up.
Yeah, but that was cool. I always like to get confirmation that we were right, because I think we've talked about it many times.
It's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing, and Mayimbe, how the scoop game is. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I mean, we were talking about Doctor Strange last week.
Right.
You know, that Jeff drops that right at Comic-Con. It's huge. The internet blows up. There's that fan art that comes out. I mean, and you know, Joaquin Phoenix looked fantastic as Doctor Strange, and then he walked away.
Right.
It just happens. So so we'll start there. You do all these scoops, Mayimbe, and most of them are right. I gotta say, most, if not all of them, are right. I mean, you called Rocket. You had Bradley Cooper. That was one of yours. Yes. What are some other ones?
Most recent one was Jason Bourne returning.
That's right. That's right.
I took a lot of heat for that one because when the source contacted me, look, Jason Bourne's coming, you know, they're bringing him back. It's like, dude, this has been a scoop that's been debunked 20 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
You got to be absolutely sure, because I'm going to get a lot of heat for it, especially from the producer.
Yeah.
And lo and behold.
Yeah, Frank Marshall.
When it dropped, Frank Marshall went into spin mode.
Yep.
Denied it, you know, gave the fake denial. He denied a part of my story, but not the whole story.
Yeah.
So then, and then it dropped. Then your boy Fleming drops it, you know, and then it's like, good, vindication. Yeah. He's the only one who doesn't. Everybody else gives like source credit except him.
So that was my next question.
He looks down on everybody. Yeah. What do you mean?
He didn't source you. Yeah, and
that's cool.
And so the nice segue into, you know, Latino Review. You're dropping scoops there. You know, you got a huge Twitter following. How did you get into this game?
How did I get into?
I mean, you've been in it a long time, man. Right? I've been following you for years.
Basically, I have a production background in New York City. I came out of the New York independent film scene. Mm-hmm. And in 2000, you know, so the late 90s was just work left and right.
Yeah.
I would go to work before the sun came up and would go home by the time the sun came down. So around 2000, there was going to be a threat of an actor's strike.
Right.
That never happened. Mm-hmm. And so there was a de facto strike. So there was, last job I did was for Iñárritu. He was doing a Quaker State commercial because he needed the money to finish posting Amores Perros. But we didn't know this at the time. He's just talking to this crazy director. He's telling us this movie he's cutting, he's broke, and he needs to do the money. He's like, all right, cool. So then that was April 4, 2000. I walked away, I had enough money saved. And then I went to work with a director, did a movie called Empire that went to Sundance in 2001, then got bought by Universal.
Nice.
So I basically came out here to be the Latin version of E from Entourage.
There you go.
So that's why that show's so personal to me, because I kind of live a lot of that. You know? So that was awesome. And I met a lot of assistants back then, and up-and-coming agents, execs, and stuff. So I was friendly with all of them. We will hang out and stuff. Now, cut to 10 years later, most of them have become partners.
Yeah.
Some of them are senior VPs.
Yeah.
Some powerful bros, you know. So
yeah, I've
always maintained this. So, but back in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was all about the websites. Like Ain't It Cool News was absolute king.
Yeah.
They had to get, so I got a lot of information. They used to have a guy named Lobo. So I would send them the Latin stuff. I would source them the Latin stuff. And then one day, they're shooting Spider-Man, the first one with Tobey Maguire. So smack in the middle of Ain't It Cool News, you see Tobey chasing the bus. And it's like, the site Latino Review. I was like, well, I'm Latino. Let me see what this is about. So I go to Latino Review, and a guy named Kelvin shot that picture picking up his kid from school, and that picture traveled the world. It was a big scoop. So we became friendly. I found out he's from the neighboring town of Queens. I'm from Flushing. He's from Regal Park. Yeah. We met, and then we've been inseparable ever since. The most boring marriage ever. We don't fight. We don't clash. It's, you know, it's yin to yang. I'm a bachelor. He's a married man with 3 kids. Yeah. So then I just started sending him my stuff. Nice. You know, we started working together, and then we got bigger and bigger. Then we went through a first round of financing with a distributor. Okay. That means I could stay out here and scoop full time, and then they went insolvent, and then now we're getting a new backer with a net worth of about $200 million. So when they came aboard, it's like, I'm gonna need legal.
He's gonna make it rain over at Latino Review.
I'm going to need legal. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because I think about that Marvel.
I can't believe it's been 10 years that I've been doing it. It's just fun, you know. Like I've always been a fanboy.
Yeah.
And I always wanted, you know, back in the days before the internet even existed, it was just you would get all your Hollywood movie news from like Wizard magazine, Andy Mangle's Hollywood Heroes.
Sure.
So even when I was working in college, kids would ask, "What's going on with the Spider-Man movie? Is they ever going to make a Spider-Man movie?" This was back in the time when it was still in litigation. Everybody was suing each other, James Cameron and stuff. So
I was gonna say.
I always thought about that guy, and it's like, yeah, they eventually made 3 of them, 6 of them, I think, no, 5 of them now, and yeah. So then, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the site has really taken off in the last few years.
Basically,
you know,
Latino
thanks
Review,
to your scoops.
Yeah.
Latino Review was born out of a Marvel scoop.
Yeah.
So I was starting to track them and do the scoops when it was really easy. We broke. That's why Peyton Reed comes back. I broke Tim Story directing Fantastic Four. I think Kelvin broke The Thing. The Luke Cage script was one of my favorites of all time.
Nice.
You know, some of the early stuff when they were still just above a car dealership in
Wow.
Beverly Hills. Yeah, and so been tracking them forever. Like basically, we broke Marvel stories before it became fashionable like it is now. You know?
Right.
Marvel's so big now. When an actor doesn't get a role, it's huge news.
It's huge news. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, like, I know why people around town have sort of an incentive to leak things to myself,
Right.
to the other trades, but, you know, why do people come to Latino Review? And the same goes for Schmoes Know. I've been very impressed with both your site's abilities to break huge Hollywood news when, you know, it's not the trades who are quote unquote supposed to break that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because technically they don't. They don't come to me. What I do is I rob and steal. No. Basically, I'll get a tip or I see something in the press and it's like, oh, it's something worth investigating, or there could be so many angles here. I approach scooping different than the way you guys do it. I was a big G.I. Joe fanboy growing up.
Nice.
And that matured into a hobby of the actual intelligence community and black ops and stuff. So I'm a big fan of the CIA.
He's serious here, folks.
No, I am.
This is big time. I love this.
We
I
are
love hearing it.
fans of
Sorry.
the CIA. We want to make that
So the
clear.
CIA, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's 2 communities in the CIA. There's the analytics side, so think Devin Faraci. You know, he'll be perfect. And then the operations guys. So what I do is what operations guys do, like in hostile environments, which is spot, assess, develop.
Dude, I'm taking notes.
This is amazing.
We are
Can
taking
I go,
this.
can I go get a pen? and
Yes,
paper?
absolutely. Spot,
Please go.
Find people who have access to secrets or information.
Okay.
Get to know them.
Yeah.
Get them to trust you. Recruit them. Keep them safe. It's just that simple. That's what I do.
I love. My God, I love that.
Spot,
Okay,
assess,
show's over.
develop.
That's it. Mic drop.
I'm going to see if we can get you a job over at the Wrap. 'Cause
Yeah.
I could use that kind of
Right?
hunger and
Assess,
ambition.
develop.
That the way of thinking. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah. Spot,
Now,
assess, develop.
When you say, you know, you have to get to know them, because that is important. It is the name of the game is relationships in Hollywood.
Scooping is a contact sport.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why when I say, like last week, I said 99% of superhero sites couldn't break a Windows, because it's true. They're all headquartered in flyover states. They don't know how this business works.
Right.
They don't know what a general is. They don't do meetings. They don't know.
And that's why you're out here. You're getting a little face-to-face time
big
with your
time.
peeps, right?
I got various people in various stages. I'm spotting this one.
I
I'm
should
assessing
follow
that
this
one,
guy around this
developing
week just
one.
to see who he's meeting.
Yeah, I know.
Come to Soho
Have
House.
a rap intern
Yeah,
tail
come to
you.
Soho House.
Go to Soho House.
Did you find that some of your relationships that you made in production have now benefited this scoop? I mean, are you?
I used to work for a guy back in the days named Anthony Katagis. He was a big line producer out of New York City. We lost touch over the years, and then lo and behold, earlier this year, he up on stage with Brad Pitt winning the Best Picture
On the Oscar,
for,
yeah.
for
So
12
the
Years a
crazy
Slave.
facial hair.
That's
He
right.
didn't have it back in those days. He was clean
Right.
cut. Now he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, he can now because he's goddamn producer's 12
Nah,
Years a
but
Slave.
that was a great crew we all used to, because he used to do a lot of commercials. Like Spike Lee did a string of Pizza Hut commercials, so I would do a lot more commercials than features, because money's quick in and out. Features a long-term commitment. So
Absolutely.
yeah, but no, basically, I came up with a lot of guys that started as assistants. Like I said, some of them are partners, vice presidents and stuff. So
Yeah.
a lot of ladies as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget the ladies.
No, I
ladies.
know. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Like, you know, we were on with a Screen Rant, Kofi Allah, and like, you know, the diversity, if you will, of
lot of diversity now.
of, you know, the scoopers or the writers, the bloggers, and not a lot of women. So it's great to hear that, you know,
D girls are still alive and well.
Absolutely.
Speaking of diversity, I mean, I can't wait to see what the future holds for Latino Review, because it is exciting. I feel like, you know, any larger sort of media company should want to kill to be in business with you guys. You're growing. You appeal to the fastest growing movie going audience. Like, can you sort of speak
and you would
to
think
that?
You would think Marvel would be a tad bit nicer to us, considering 30% of their box office all comes from Latinos. You know? So
that's a good point. Yeah. So what did you say, Joe?
No, I just didn't know if you wanted to sort of talk to that point about the sort of specific audience that you reach and that kind of thing.
Basically, if we did this Latin stuff, we'd have no site. I wouldn't even be here, because there's not stuff breaking every day. So we need stuff to supplement that. So the fanboy stuff, and then like somebody like I'm very proud of, the One of the Dead director, Alejandro Brugués. This is a guy who made a horror movie in communist Cuba. Wow. I saw it by accident on CNN. I find the kid, I reach out to him, let me see your movie. We see his movie, and then it's great. I show it to my buddy at WM. You got to see this. He liked it enough that he wanted to sign the guy. We found a way to get him asylum here in the United States, and he just finished directing a segment of ABCs of Death 2. So that's something I'm proud of.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
I still keep my toes in the indie world and stuff. So I'm always tracking projects and stuff. You know, like Chilean filmmaker Nicolas Lopez was another one, but he blew up at Fantastic Fest. He was somebody who kept,
right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then but you're going back into production with your own movie coming up.
Yeah, that's another reason I'm out here. I got to do a bunch of meetings. And dance with the actors.
Plug this project, because you are living the dream of every sort of, you know, movie press blogger person.
It's like we want to go to the next.
We want to go and we want to do our own things, and you're actually doing it. So tell
because
us about
basically
that.
I worked production for like 4 or 5 years, and you don't ever lose those bones. I worked my way up to becoming a second AD because I had size, so I was good with talent and stuff, and I'd be outside the set waiting for him to get called. You know, I'll be the guy harassing the hair and makeup person. Let's go. We got to go 5 minutes.
Yep.
You know, F you. We're not ready yet. Well, you better be ready. You know, so that kind of stuff. So I have a production background. I know how to run a set. Yeah. It's not like I've never been on a set before. Yeah. And about the speed and execution. So I wrote a little project. I used to live uptown in Manhattan. There was a bodega clerk who got murdered because he saw a crime go down, like a little local crime. So that's always stayed with me and stuff. So I figured, what if that guy was younger, agile, he could run. I was always into man on the run movies and stuff. So I studied all the structures. And that was good about having relationships back in those days before scripts were even PDF'd. You had to get hard copies and stuff. Now it's just you ask for a PDF and you get it in the inbox. And some people take that for granted. I'm like, wow, it's so easy. So I was always constantly reading. Like when I started, I used to do a lot of script reviews. But because of the current spoiler culture being anti-spoilerish, we don't really do them anymore. And most scripts are, under lock and key anyway. So I was just constantly reading before the blacklist existed. Always reading and reading, and it's like screenplay is where it's at. So develop that, and then.
So what's the movie called?
Breakneck.
Okay.
It's a chase movie. It's a fastly paced chase thriller about a bodega clerk who has to go on the run from a private military company for murders he didn't commit. Basically, they framed him for something, and I got to keep him quiet, so he's got to use his wits to outsmart them and stuff. And
your producer is Daniel Alter, is that right?
Daniel Alter, yes.
You know, he was my old manager at one point.
He was your old manager.
You just tell him, I don't know if he remembers me, but
he wants to come on the show.
He wants to? Yeah, we got to get him on. Yeah, Daniel was great. He actually had an idea. Yeah, it was years ago, man, and I was working in production at the time, and they were repping me as managers. And it was with his old partner Howard's son.
Yes, Howard.
And they had an idea for just mention Lost Soul.
I will after we get out.
Yeah, he will know. He should remember that because it was his idea that he gave me, and we worked on it a bit. It just ultimately never went anywhere.
The ultimate hustler, man.
He is.
He's good. He's got the gift of gab. He'd be a deadly scooper if he wanted to do this. So.
And he's taken over Vegas now, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So basically, the scooping, since we were financed, basically instead of waiting tables or working at CAA or something like that, I could scoop and make money on the side, and then it gave me time to pursue financing. We came very close in 2004. With the producers of Garden State. They loved the script so much. So then I met with Gary Gilbert in New York City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
his brother owns the Cleveland Cavaliers, so you wouldn't think this guy's a billionaire. You know, he's just a
I
regular.
don't think I ever put that together.
No, they're very
Wow.
rich.
I
They
just
sold-
did. Oh my god.
They sold a mortgage company they sold to Quicken actually, and that's how the brother Dan bought the Cavaliers, and this guy puts money into movies and stuff. So
Wow, so you've been real close, but now you're doing it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have a Latino lead, right?
that's what I'm here to look
That's the
for.
plan?
I'm down to about 4 guys that I like. So I'm casting a wide net here in New York, Miami. I don't care if the kid has never done anything on TV or anything. I'm looking for somebody specific. I mean, I went out to a couple of names out here, but it's the song, you know, now
Yeah, I get
they're all
it.
managered up and
Of course,
publicist up. Oh, you know, they want to do the song and dance. I'm like,
Right.
all right, cool, we'll do the song and dance.
Well, if you have
That's
any
awesome.
if you have any roles for a couple of nerdy podcasters, Mark and I,
You know
we'll,
what?
we'll make
I
ourselves
probably will.
available.
I was a theater major.
We probably will.
I was a theater major, the most worthless degree you can get, folks.
But I will say to Fanboy Nation, because they're like, you making we're going to forget about us? I will not forsake the Fanboy Nation. Trust me.
There you
That's
go.
a good man right there.
And that's what we want to get into. And
Yes.
you are listening to Meet the Movie Press. We have El Mayimbe here, the Scoop Master. And what we do on the Schmoes Know Network, the Meet the Movie Press on the Schmoes Know Network Facebook page, we do what we call a hopeful news break. And there's the music. That's right, guys. Every Wednesday, Schmoville, if you want to drop something based on the news that you are hearing that is out there that either we're talking about or the internet is talking about, the trades are dropping, you know, you can kind of think about what maybe could happen. And I want to go to one, and we're going to do this quick because we got some scoops to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so Finlay Calvert on the Meet the Movie Press page, he wants Zac Efron cast as Iron Fist. Now, I want to go to you because I remember you coming on the show, the main show, and talking about Zac Efron, but I can't really remember. Was it for Star Wars? Was it for Marvel? Were you saying something that they were looking at him?
He was considered for a Marvel project. I don't know what it is, though.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to see. Okay, so now Zac Efron is Iron Fist. Iron Fist is going to Netflix. Okay, so is this like out of the realm of possibility? No way. You're smiling.
I'm smiling because this is my question. Who is Iron Fist?
Yeah.
What? What?
Iron Fist.
Power Man, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, bro. Come on,
Yeah,
he's
the
fresh.
Defenders. Yeah, and he's
bro.
Iron Fist is great. I'm familiar with Iron Fist.
Yeah.
I love the comic of Iron Fist. Are you? And we lost Sneider. He is out.
Unbelievable. Iron Fist. All these. I can't. I don't know all these movie characters. I don't know Iron Fist.
Okay,
Never
well,
heard of
I'm
him.
thinking about it this way. If we look at the template being created right now with Daredevil,
Right.
okay, I don't even know the actor's name that's playing Matt Murdock. I forget.
Charlie Cox, right?
Charlie
Wasn't
Cox?
that you?
We came very close. We had snipers on the roof one night in Harlem.
Oh.
They were just waiting for him to step out with the guy in the suit.
Oh,
It
man.
was so close.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay, Charlie Cox. Okay, so I had never heard of him. It's not of the Zac Efron caliber.
No.
No offense, Charlie, but Zac Efron is a huge movie star right now, so, you know, but he was in, that's why I brought this particular one up, because he is hot, and Marvel likes to go after people that are hot.
They're heat chasers, big time.
Could
Yeah.
you see it? Could you see?
Could you see it happening?
Hell no.
Okay.
Scott Adkins is a more realistic choice for Iron Fist.
There you go. Did you hear that, Finlay? Is that okay?
This is This is a Netflix original series, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So not a movie.
Yeah, so they're building towards the same shared universe as the MCU, but it's going to be for the Defenders. So they're going to do Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and of course Daredevil. And then sooner or later we'll probably see Defenders.
Maybe we'll see Adam Sandler as Iron Fist.
Oh my God, that's a hot scoop, guys. Seriously, no, I'm kidding. Don't print that, please.
Who was a comedian that did a Green Lantern script so many years ago that got railroaded in the press?
Wasn't it Jack Black?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Black had
it
a
was terrible.
comedic take on Green Lantern,
Yeah.
which that I can kind of see. I can kind of see it. He's like Shazam or what? Oh, sorry, wrong property.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I appreciate you guys' thoughts.
I'm sorry, Iron Fist fans.
It's okay though.
Educate
I
me.
can't believe he's barely 30. He has this anti-fanboy like stuff with the property.
Would I need to know every single
No,
comic
you
book
don't,
character
but
ever
it's-
created?
I just don't get like why you can't stand like the fanboy stuff. That's what brings the most traffic, I would think.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
Hey, listen. listen, I like Batman, I like Superman, Spider-Man, I like the big guns. I don't need to get into these secondary and tertiary characters.
Right.
It's too much.
They're still heroes, though.
That's okay, but you saw, I mean, he came on here, we were talking, we were just...
At least I keep it real. I'm not going to lie and just pretend, I love Iron Fist for the traffic.
Right.
I don't love Iron Fist.
But your Batman v Superman or your Man of Steel sort of scoop about, the whales saving...
See, that's hot.
Yeah, that was hot. He drops it here. Overheard a conversation in Toronto, and then all the outlets pick it up and go, "Oh, Aquaman saved Man of Steel."
That's why it's important to be around. Like,
yes.
That's a perfect... You know how many scoops just sitting down at, like, Earth Cafe and two execs are sitting next to each other? Just like exactly like what happened with Jeff.
I try not to eavesdrop. That was a rare... exception.
I was having a conversation with a good buddy of mine who I will not mention. It's a he or a she. And, offhand said, "Oh, yeah, Tim Burton's going back to Beetlejuice." And we were like, "Huh? Can I talk about that, please?" And we dropped that, and a couple days later, it happened.
Yeah.
And it was just talking with a friend,
It's just being present in Los Angeles or New York sometimes, especially.
It helps.
Yeah.
Oh, it helps royally, man.
And that's what you should probably know, Schmoville. I mean, a lot of you have asked me, sent questions. I want to get into writing. I want to get into producing. I want to get into movie reporting. But I'm in Iowa or I'm in Ohio. I mean, do I need to come out to L.A.? Yes.
Absolutely.
I think you should.
It helps.
It really does help, because not only that, I mean, as we've been talking about, you're going around, you're meeting friends, you're going to parties, you're going to the Soho House, whatever, and you're talking to, all of a sudden you're sitting in an elevator with Seth MacFarlane.
Right.
That was a true story for me.
When you get to be the best, like Mike Fleming, you can go live on Long Island, and you don't have to be around it.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah, most people, when you're starting
regardless
out,
of his lack of professional courtesy to his colleagues, he's still a damn good writer. Especially,
Yeah,
you see that
absolutely.
The
Yes.
review he did, the interview he did with Downey, I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's just killing me.
Yeah, but then that was funny. Can we talk about that last part of the interview that I almost said Iron Downey.
Iron Downey.
Robert Downey Jr. kind of makes an offhanded, hilarious statement. "I will only do Iron Man 4 if Mel Gibson will direct it," and every site picked that up.
Of course, I
as
saw that
fact.
because every site should be embarrassed.
And rightly so. I looked at it and I went,
It's a joke. It's clearly a joke.
I start looking at the tweets coming in. Faraci had some great comments, some great jabs out there.
He's the best.
Dude,
Yeah,
let me look Schmoville in the eye right now.
Yeah.
If you think Mel Gibson is directing another Disney movie, you are insane.
Yeah, and for those that covered it, did you not read it? Did you not get the tone of the conversation?
Right.
It was a obvious, hilarious
Right,
statement.
but people
It was very
just,
funny,
they'll,
too.
they'll use any reason, any excuse to put Iron Man 4 in a headline.
Yeah, and exactly true. And someone might call that clickbait. And then it spread like wildfire so much that then Downey Jr. had to go on other appearances and say, no.
We'll
that's
find
not
something
happening.
else to work on
yeah,
together.
But he did say that there was possible negotiations for Iron Man 4, and then maybe it's going to go to the small screen. I don't think anything that is happening, to be honest with
Do
you.
you
What
think
do you
there's
guys
going to
think?
be an Iron Man 4 starring Robert Downey Jr.?
I don't know, quite frankly. I haven't really been tracking that one per se much. But I'm pretty sure they like to keep him in the fold somehow.
Yeah.
Or work with them somehow, maybe in executive producer capacity. Or,
I think that's where it's going
You
with
know?
him. That's what
I just can't. I know the last one was the biggest, but I just
Yeah.
cannot imagine another Iron Man movie.
he's under
What
contract
else
to
is
do one
left?
more movie. He has to give him, I think, Avengers 3 or the
Yeah.
Right,
the
and
rumored
that's what I
Infinity
think it'll
Gauntlet.
be. They'll
Yeah.
use Iron Man to prop up these other things, maybe launch something new, but
Yeah.
I cannot imagine an Iron Man 4.
I can't either. Not at this point. I
Right.
don't think, just because of the contract negotiations.
Right, maybe they even reboot Iron Man in 10 years or something. I'm just like, another Iron Man movie.
Yeah, and I have my
And-
own Marvel source who's been saying, and I could kind of talk a little bit about it, that there are no plans for an Iron Man 4, a Thor 4, a Captain America 4. That they are, and it kind of is like what Faraci just dropped with his Avengers, and that there might be a big shakeup at the end of Avengers 3 that might launch new characters in the Avengers franchise. I'm hearing the same thing. And I'm hearing that it's like that's the plan right now because of Guardians of the Galaxy doing so well. The brand is Marvel, so they can launch Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, maybe a Captain Marvel, maybe I don't know. I'm hearing an Adam Warlock. I don't know if you've heard anything.
Well, the pod was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's being set up. I'm hearing that there are plans for Adam Warlock. I can't really. It's just a rumor right now. I can't. It's only speculation.
I thought that was the project Efron was being rumored for. No.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That could.
I'll
that
find
could be.
out in hindsight what it was. I know he didn't take it, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. But speaking of these scoops, you're listening to
Yes,
Meet the Movie
let's
Press.
get to it.
Let's get to it. By the way, guys, before we get into this is a very important. We had some technical glitches. Okay, so if you have subscribed to Meet the Movie Press on iTunes, do me a favor and go ahead and check that out again. See if your subscription is held. We kind of lost some kind of things. We've had some technical issues. So if you haven't subscribed, what the hell is wrong with you? Please subscribe to Meet the Movie Press on iTunes. Like us on Meet the Movie Press Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel Schmoes Know Podcast because that keeps the lights on and it allows us to get this wonderful guest. And we're going to drop some scoops right now.
Yes,
so
we are.
El Mayimbe, you have the floor, my friend.
Yeah, so I figured, I'm coming on the show instead of dropping scoops early during the week.
Yeah.
I figured I'd drop them live on the air.
I love
with
it.
You guys, sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing
and
is caring.
And I'm aware of this. We went a little bit back and forth so I could program this show. And man, this one's good. So I'll let you start with where you want to go.
So which one should we do first?
You want to start with
The best one.
You
best one?
You want to start with the best one?
All right. Schmoville, I got you two really hot DC scoops. All right. So the first one.
Boy.
DC.
So,
Mark and I do not know these. You don't know, right?
I know because only we've been talking about it so I could
Okay, I don't
basically
know,
send
okay.
some pictures.
You'll get to see the surprise on my face. Sorry, go for it.
It kind of leapfrogs off his one,
Yeah.
So the hot rumor that I'm hearing now that Chris Terrier's on board writing Justice League. Okay?
Yeah.
The
So
hot
we're
rumor.
talking Justice League here?
Justice League.
Oh boy, we're not talking Batman v Superman, folks. We're going a little
beyond
bit
that.
further.
A little bit
Justice League.
But it does kind of, from what I'm hearing, the setup is towards the end of Batman v Superman.
That's what I'm hearing too. Yeah.
The rumor is that Brainiac is going to be the bad guy in Justice League. And the setup of it is cool, basically. Remember how the Kryptonian beacon in Man of Steel that Clark set off that brought Zod to Earth?
Yeah.
Brainiac heard it as well.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I like that.
I like it too, and I'll be honest. I don't know who Brainiac is.
He's only the hottest.
JT's freaking out in the booth.
JT.
The hottest DC villain of all
I'll put it
time.
this way. I'm just glad Brainiac sounds like a smart person, someone who used their brain to defeat Superman, which I think
Yes.
is better than just another muscled punch fest.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like at the
Yeah,
end of minutes.
Brainiac to me is one of the better villains in the Superman universe. And so for him to come out, because everybody was assuming that it was going to be Darkseid.
They're pushing him towards later.
I think that's a smart move.
Yes.
Just because I feel like with Thanos being kind of
Right.
rumored to be Avengers 3 kind of main villain,
Yes.
it's DC now. No, we can't really do, like Darkseid, Thanos are kind of similar. So let's do Brainiac, which I love. Brainiac is awesome, guys. Do you
Remember
know
the Superman animated series in the 90s? How
Yeah.
great Brainiac was on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Superman fan. I think everybody knows that. I named my dog Kal-El. I mean, for God's sakes, this is getting me excited. Unbelievable. So, how do you get? I mean, you know, we don't reveal sources, but how long have you been working on this scoop? Let's start there.
This one, I got back to LA on Tuesday. So I hit up, yo, what are you doing? What's going on? Let's hang out.
Yeah.
What you got? Like the way Jay Glazer does. He's another scooper in another business, like in sports.
Yeah.
I kind of do the same thing. Is when I get to town, I hit up everybody. What you got?
Okay.
So somebody had something for me that I trust.
Yeah.
You know, and it was only one source at the time because there's a rule about scooping sometimes that I personally break because I don't believe in it. You know, sometimes only one or two people actually know about a deal or so.
Sure.
Like Rocket Raccoon's the perfect example. When we broke that, this guy's publicist didn't know yet.
Wow.
So if somebody like
They're the last to know.
a trade organization went up, is it true? Goes to his publicist, and because she doesn't know, is it true that Rocket Raccoon's going to be voiced by Bradley Cooper? They would officially go with a denial because they don't know about it until
Right.
they get a clarification later. So that happens to us a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in the position to know stuff when only a handful of people, sometimes not even that.
That's
You know?
same here. I one person sometimes, and
That's
it's
it,
so
yeah.
reliable and
Yes.
it's so undeniable that you're like, well, we're gonna run it, and we talk a lot about it. You know, these scoops can fall apart. It could be not happening. It could be miscommunication. You know, I mean, we've gotten scoops wrong before, and it just changes. It just
No,
happens.
absolutely.
But this sounds. This
sounds
sounds for me very plausible.
Yes.
That's what I want to say, because as a fan of Superman, as a fan of Justice League, this makes sense in the way that Marvel's using Thanos. why not? And DC is trying to do something different, and I think Brainiac is just a perfect villain.
Oh my God, yes. It'd be like the first time they use an original villain since like the last Batman Begins when they introduced Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's
I
great.
think it's a great direction for them to go. I mean, if you think about it, if you look at Man of Steel, all the Kryptonian technology, it's there. The DNA is there for that character to exist. You know, so
absolutely.
Who now, real quick, just off the top of your head, this is kind of an unfair question. Who would play Brainiac? Give me the fantasy casting.
Who would play Brainiac? Who's?
Yeah.
I mean, James Spader already played Ultron, so
yeah,
he would have
right.
been a hot choice. Somebody along those lines.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, God, no.
He's in everything, right?
He's
going to be in every single movie ever made. No, I wouldn't want him either.
That's a good question. You
that
put
is
me
a
on the
good
spot.
question.
Can I throw in Bryan Cranston?
Ooh.
He's hot right now.
JTE, drop the mic, my friend. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like Bryan Cranston. That would be good. You know, because everybody was going, bonkers over him possibly as Lex Luthor, which, obviously didn't happen.
You know what? Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey would be great. Jeff, you just don't know who Brainiac is.
No, I'm just like, Kevin Spacey already played a Superman villain. You're not
Yeah,
really...
Chris Evans already
right.
played the Flash. He's playing Captain America.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. Well, that's scoop number one, probably the biggest to be dropped here on Meet the Movie Press.
That's a big one.
So, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, I mean, now's the time. Look at this. We're dropping major scoops here, and that's Justice League. We're not even. I mean, we're everybody's Batman, Superman.
The next scoop is on Justice League 2.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, Brainiac is you're gonna see set up somehow at the end of Batman v Superman, from what I'm hearing, and then it goes into Justice League.
That's great.
Which is now officially true that they're gonna do that, and then
Justice League
go right into Justice League.
Yeah,
So
that makes
I hope
sense.
it's Brainiac. Yeah, so.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man. So
Got another one.
you got another. Guys,
So there was
we're so giving this morning. Actually,
Feeling generous.
yeah, we're very generous.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm interested to see Jeff's reaction to this one as well.
Oh, this is gonna be a great. His reaction is gonna be Tyler's because
Yeah.
I don't even know these guys, but he does.
I don't either.
So a couple of weeks ago, it was reported that David Ayer is in talks to direct Suicide Squad.
That's
for
right.
DC. Mm-hmm. So I went out and found who is the Suicide Squad?
Who is the Suicide
Exactly.
Squad?
So basically, it's 7 prisoners on this prison run by Amanda Waller, a very popular character in the DC universe. Mm-hmm. And it's a prison for supervillains.
Right.
So she recruits this team, and they go out and do black op jobs in exchange for reduced sentences.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. So I found out who the 7 members of the Suicide Squad are.
Oh boy, guys, 7.
Count 'em down.
That's right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Blockbuster, the
Blockbuster.
strong man. Multiplex, the human replicator. Jaculi, the speedster. Mind-boggler, the female telepath. It's a lot of names, but don't worry. Our story is not going to feature them. Instead, we will emphasize Harkness, also known as Captain Boomerang. He's a villain in The Flash. He's with special weapons. Diversity here. Vixen, female with animal abilities.
Oh yeah.
And last but not least, Lawton, also known as Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Yeah,
I know Deadshot.
Deadshot was a guy who took a shot at Batman and missed.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so
right. Okay.
The 3 leads: Harkness, Vixen, and Lawton, and another 4. Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. Who are my Suicide Squad fans out there? Are you going to drop in some comments? I mean, this is good stuff here. You actually got your hands on the script.
Of course.
Hey,
I didn't read it yet, though.
Why aren't I getting these scripts? Jeff, are you getting
Yeah,
scripts?
my email's jeff@therap.com. You can just send a line over.
Come on.
But some scripts, some of the higher tier stuff people don't want a paper trail, so that's why.
Bring me into a room. I'll sit there for an hour and a half.
Physical
and
meeting.
Skim through
Yeah.
it.
And for future scoops, sometimes could originate from screenplays. You can see over the screenplay, okay, let me track these characters, let me find out who's playing this and that, or we got the description, this and that, and some. You know, if you're able to get a screenplay of a Go movie, that's always gold.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you got it all right there in black and white. So it's I want my hands on the shooting script of Justice League now, so I could see Brainiac.
I think he recently delivered a draft.
Did he?
That's why I got the That's how I got the information. He delivered an outline or draft of the Justice League script, and
He's also working on Batman v Superman, isn't
yeah,
he?
he's
doing a rewrite.
He did production polishes.
Production
on that.
polishes?
Yeah.
See-
Then he went into, but then he got his deal for Justice League. I guess they liked what he was doing.
That's great.
He's a smart guy. He's not really a comic guy, but that could be okay too. As
Yeah.
long as there's respect for the source material. And I think He's the one who's going to get us Brainiac. I always thought Brainiac should be a villain instead of Lex Luthor, and now it looks like it's going to happen.
Now, are you worried at all that there's too many comic book movies? I know they're kind of your bread and butter, but
I have to respectfully disagree with the Hollywood trade community. I believe we are now in Hollywood's heroic age. We got 41 superhero properties in the next 5 years, more so than I've been alive. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible. So everyone that I talk to doesn't say like what the reporter's saying, superhero overlord. It's gonna, I mean, look at The Flash. The ratings for the pilot is like the best thing the CW's ever had. Does that sound like superhero fatigue? I don't think so.
But in 5 or 6 years, once we've seen all these I mean, it's just like, the business is cyclical. And there are obviously many other heroes out there to explore. Teachers, doctors, actual heroes, rather than people who can fly and go invisible and things like that.
Superhero movies are our modern mythology.
Yep.
Especially, and it
Like the Greek gods, in a sense.
Yes, it transcends it transcends cultures. It's cinema at its purest form. It's universal. Just look at the box office numbers. We're in the middle of a heroic age. I've been waiting for something like this to happen. I mean, when
that's great.
When the DC announcement came, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I was too.
Hot.
And as long as I think there won't be fatigue as long as these movies are put in the right hands.
Absolutely.
And done well.
Yes.
Sony, are you listening? Amazing Spider-Man, come on. What the heck are you doing?
I can't believe Spider-Man's a bum.
Let's talk about the rumors this week about Spider-Man going back into the Marvel universe, something like that.
Yeah, and then the soft reboot with Sinister Six. I mean, when you say soft reboot off of a reboot that is a reboot off of like 4 years before, I mean, what are you doing? I don't get it. I mean, Spider-Man is my second favorite behind Superman. And you said it, he's a bum.
He's a bum now, man. I didn't even see the first 2 movies, the reboots. I didn't even bother.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have saw them for free. I didn't want to go see them. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah, so what do you think, Jeff? I mean, you started to go into it. Like, are you hearing anything?
I did hear stuff, and I heard it a while ago. In fact, I went back. I have emails into Sony's past corporate communications person, so I don't know that the current one knows that I'm even sniffing around it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I heard that that there were talks to have Spider-Man pop up in Marvel movies, and I'd even heard, I think, someone in the Fox stable as well. I don't know if it was X-Men or Fantastic Four or something like that, but I don't. There's probably nothing to that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do think it's very possible that Sony could lend Spider-Man,
Yeah, with Marvel
to a Disney Marvel movie.
Okay, now is it like a sell the rights kind of thing, or a
no?
Let's work
I don't think
together?
that they're ever letting go of the rights. I think it's either a trade or some kind of a cash payoff or some kind of promotion thing. I mean, studios do these kinds of things.
So like all the fans are going, because this rumor has kind of come around before, and I kind of mentioned it on the main show last night that I'm wondering if it's because of the poor word of mouth or the poor reception for Amazing Spider-Man 2 that they're like, we got to do something.
They need to stick the character in a good movie, which means basically letting him to Disney and Marvel.
Yeah, because Marvel knows that. I mean, can you imagine Marvel with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean,
but what about the corporate greed and egos between the two studios? Well,
there you go.
Well, that's what I think is that maybe Disney or Marvel will lend Sony something for one of its movies, like Suicide Squad. No, not
that's
DC.
DC,
Sorry,
yeah,
that's
DC.
I confused Suicide Squad and Sinister Six because it's way too many S's and they're bad guys. And
you're absolutely right. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I think for it to really happen is that these two studios have to play nice and they have to just kind of put aside their differences. And I think in the driver's seat is Marvel Disney. They're like, oh yeah, how's Spider-Man doing over there?
It could be anything. It could be, Sony, we will put one of your trailers before Avengers 2 if you'll let us have Spider-Man, something like that.
So
there are many different ways that compensation could be figured out.
Now, I think the fans want Spider-Man to maybe be a part of the Avengers, because in the comics run he was a part of the new Avengers when they came back together, which it was a great run. I love it. I love Spider-Man. It was like he just kind of inadvertently got involved. He saw something happen and he jumps into action. Now I'm wondering if this Marvel Sony team up, is it a cameo, which would really suck in my opinion if it was just like, oh, there's Andrew Garfield, he's Spider-Man.
I don't think it would be a significant role. No,
you don't think it'll be significant?
No.
See, and I think that's what would still, I think it would please some fans, but I think it would ultimately kind of disappoint them because they want to see Spider-Man get into action with Marvel or say the Avengers.
I think you get 1 or 2 scenes tops.
Okay.
They're
you're right.
They're not just giving Spider-Man to Disney Marvel.
No.
It's a $1 billion property, of course not.
Yeah.
No.
But they would. So, do you think this soft reboot?
All the time.
Just every time I say it,
it's
I'm
a
like
soft reboot, as opposed to
as opposed to what? Yeah,
reboot's a reboot.
A reboot's
is a
a reboot.
reimagining, is a remake, is a everything.
Yeah. So what do you
Reboot
mean?
with an adverb.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like Sinister Six is the villain. So what are you going to recast Spider-Man yet again?
Yeah.
Are you going to do the origin again? Are you going to what? I just don't get it.
They're definitely struggling over there.
Yeah.
Because we do seem to hear about a new plan every month or two.
Yeah. And Spider-Man obviously is one of the biggest characters ever. And so anytime like Sony, mentions something with, I'm seeing all the hate from on Sony. The fans really are hating Sony in the treatment of Spider-Man. So they do have something to do. They have something they need to fix.
I think Sony is well aware of the problem over there, and it's
Yeah.
listen, they're not doing it on purpose. They're not doing it to antagonize fans.
No.
They haven't cracked the formula yet.
Yeah, that's very true. Hey, JT, how are we doing on time? JT left the booth, so we can keep talking.
Sorry, what's going on?
No, how are we doing on time? I'm just
We're
wondering.
good. You got about 5 minutes.
We got about 5 minutes.
Just 5. I mean, did
All
you
right.
wanna, should we just talk about Fury real quick or no?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
It was intense. I saw it last night. He was at the screening as well.
Okay, you guys, I know you were kind of talking a little bit. Tell us, and let's talk about it because I'm interested in seeing it, but I want to hear from you guys.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was kind of a generic World War II movie. Great performances, really good acting across the board. Was very impressed by Logan Lerman. Shia and Brad Pitt are good. Yeah, everybody's good. Pena, Bernthal, but I just wanted a little bit more. The concept is great with the tanks. Like, someone should make a tank movie during World War II. Like, yes, and they did it justice. But there's not much else there, script-wise.
Okay, script-wise. So you said great characters. Is it kind of slow, or is it kind of...
It's not that it's slow, although there's, one scene that's not set on the battlefield kind of goes on a little long.
Okay.
Or a sequence. But
I agree.
I don't know. What did you think?
I'm kind of in agreement with you. I mean, I read the script when they made the Blacklist. It was like the hot property, and so it was pretty hot. So, but sometimes that doesn't really translate. It's a very intense movie. It's a guy's movie. It's a tank movie.
Absolutely. Your dad will love it.
Your dad would love it. Yeah.
yeah, my dad would love it. I'm sure.
It kind of drags. Like, I agree with Jeff towards the middle. The unnecessary sequence and stuff that just went on a little too long, and then for manipulating the audience, I think.
Ooh. Okay.
Then that one scene where Lerman looks, after the explosion. And I'm not going to drop a spoiler here per se, but I saw it coming. I was like, now they're trying to manipulate us and stuff.
It was fascinating being inside the tank with those guys.
That was great.
But it just didn't say anything new. It just...
It was. I liked it. I didn't love it though. I wanted to love it though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a good movie.
You know what? And you guys are now probably the 4th and 5th person I've heard the same thing from. Because some of my colleagues saw it. That said the same thing. They're like, it's basically a... Yeah.
I mean, Brad Pitt is dope in the movie. He's always great in everything he does, and Shia too. Jesus,
really?
Michael Pena. But
it's nice that Shia gives people a reminder that he's like a real actor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a performance movie more than a tank movie, I would say.
Okay, well, I still got to see it. I mean, curiosity.
I predict Logan Lerman is going to get the biggest bump from it.
Yeah.
He's going to have heat. He'll probably have enough heat for Marvel to pay attention to.
Ooh, is that a little hint? Maybe.
Always remember, Marvel follows the heat, man.
I love John Bernthal, man. He's like De Niro crossed with like a Woody Harrelson. I feel like he reminded me of Woody Harrelson.
He was great. Yeah.
Was he good in it? Yeah. I loved him in Wolf of Wall Street, so I was so happy to see him go because I loved him in Walking Dead, and then he goes to Wolf of Wall Street.
He seems like an actual tough guy.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that because I hope more from him. So
I don't know about tough guy though. I smacked the taste out of his mouth. No, we stop.
Bernthal's coming for you now, man.
And with that, I think we got to call it a day because that's all the time we have here on Meet the Movie Press.
All right.
El Mayimbe, where can the good people of Schmobo find you?
You can find me on Twitter at El Mayimbe, and you can find me on latino-review.com.
Okay.
Don't forget that hyphen.
Yeah.
Don't forget the hyphen. Yes.
And guys, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ReillyAround, and you can find me every day on schmoesknow.com. Jeff?
I'm at the Sneider, readtherap.com.
There you go.
All kinds of goodies there.
Yes.
And guys, thank you for tuning in.
Yep.
As always, please subscribe. If you have already subscribed, go check it out again. Just check to see if your subscription held. But like I said, we had some glitches. But thank you very much for tuning in. Share this, subscribe,
Yes.
and tell your friends about this great show, because we are rising the charts every day.
You just met the movie press.
That's
Meet the
right.
movie
Have a good
press.
weekend.
See you next week.
Peace out, Schmoville.
From producers Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes Know Network crew, we would like to thank you for listening to Meet the Movie Press. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, in stores now. To watch or listen to other Schmoes Know Network episodes, get movie news, or join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesknow.com. I'm the Pit Boss, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes Know.